The Supreme Court is pronouncing the verdict in the Chandigarh mayoral polls matter. The CJI has said we will be directing that the votes be recounted. CJI says only 8 votes can be treated as valid. CJI says results should be declared on the basis of that. The bench has observed that the result sheet indicates that of the 36 votes which were polled, 8 were treated as invalid. Of the 28 valid votes which remain, the petitioner holds 12 votes while the 8th respondent holds 16 votes. The presiding officer has declared the results on this basis. Meanwhile, Arvind Kejriwal has thanked the Supreme Court for saving democracy in difficult times. So, it has now come out of the Supreme Court that the votes must be recounted. My colleague Vipin Parmar with us on the broadcast. Vipin, if you can take our viewers through what is it exactly that the Supreme Court has held and what does this mean now?
Of course, since yesterday, it was everybody over here in Chandigarh was, waiting for Supreme Court to come up with some directions. So today itself, if we talk about, the Supreme Court of India, they have heard both the parties and, after, listening to both the parties, whether it's the returning officer council or it's the state, if we talk about, it's clearly mentioned by the Supreme Court of India, if it is the case of 8 invalid vote, it can be considered during the recounting, as the concerned advocate who was representing this returning officer, they clearly stated that there was a valid papers were folded at during the polling process, and that is why they were counted invalid. So now Supreme Court of India, it's clearly stated that why don't we consider those invalid votes into valid votes, so that there will be no re-polling or re-election over here in Chandigarh. So as far as the CJI is concerned, definitely it's a quite a big setback for BJP. Their candidate won the election, but later on the mayor he resigned from his particular post, but on the other hand, BJP was working on the second strategy as well. They made 3 of the councillors of Aam Aadmi Party joined, BJP yesterday only. But as far as the court is concerned, they directed that, why don't we, consider these invalid vote into valid votes. So definitely if they, recount those votes into valid one, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, combined candidate will be, chosen as the mayor of Chandigarh. So we have to wait and see for the full orders that what.
So Vipin, it's essentially the 8 votes that have to be recounted.
Well, 8 vote, those were counted invalid because what the presiding officer, he clearly mentioned that those votes were folded, when he checked and when he was checking the final counting, when he was doing the final counting. But as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, they clearly said that, we cannot, consider these invalid votes and it should be considered as valid one. As you are seeing, in this video, the presiding officer can be seen, taking over those ballot papers. So now these 8 votes will be, counted, and those will not be considered invalid votes. So they, when the recounting will be happening, these 8 votes will be counted as a valid one. So we have to wait and see what sort of result will be coming.
Essentially, Vipin, it's a recounting and not a repolling.
Yeah. But,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Vipin, thank you so much for joining us with those updates and details.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.